Okay, so we have had the announcement that probably a lot of Doctor Who fans are disappointed about, but maybe a few are actually probably been expecting for a while, including me. Doctor Who is no more for now. It has finished as an ongoing concern for the BBC in regards to continuous production. It is one of the BBC's biggest properties, so I don't think they'll let it go completely, but they have put the series out to tender, which is very similar to what they do with things like Question Time on the BBC, so it's not unusual to have that sort of situation nowadays where a production company takes it on. It is a big project. It depends on who wants to take it, if they take it at all. But it does effectively mean, with the departure of Russell T Davies and Bad Wolf, that Doctor Who is now into its second wilderness years period. The first period, of course, was between the tail end of 1989 and 2005, with a little blip in 1996 for the TV movie. That happened to be when I became a Doctor Who fan, so it's a kind of bittersweet 30th anniversary of being a Doctor Who fan, with the news that the series that I really loved coming back in 2005 for obvious reasons is no more. But to be fair, it's had a very good innings. 20 years of Doctor Who adventures. I don't think that's too much of a shabby time. Yeah, it wasn't a continuous series all the way through like the original was, when there was a series every year. But still, we still ended up getting 15 series of Doctor Who in 20 years. That's pretty good compared to the fact there was nothing for the previous 16 to that, apart from a TV movie. So we had quite a lot of series, a lot of development, but it got to the stage where the people who were involved with it were actually recycling ideas quite a lot, going very heavy into the lore, and not having the reset that it needed. And the classic series did manage to reset and rejuvenate itself enough to carry on, or some people say limp on, from the mid-80s. The Seventh Doctor era was definitely the era that allowed a complete reset of Doctor Who and its format, and that carried on into 2005, that kind of similar realistic companion vibe, and the slight grittiness you got in some of the later stories carried on into the 9th and 10th Doctors, and then obviously expanded into its own universe from 11 onwards. I personally am disappointed that the series isn't back for a while, but also I'm not unexpected. I think it needed a break. I think it needed a prolonged break without the speculation going on about what's happening, when, where, and everything. It's a shame that the cliffhanger that there's been left is going to be left unresolved, but they may just do very much what they did with when the series came back in 2005 and just say, oh, here's a new Doctor, and not worry about what happened before and just take it on from there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how that all works out and how that comes across. But personally, I think it needs a break. Selfishly, I needed to take a break so I can catch up with the reviews. I've still got over 200 stories of the TV series to go through. So that'll be nice to have a bit of catch up there. But all joking aside, I think it needs it. There are people out there who think it was on its dying death from 2017, 2018, which I think is grossly unfair. And I do think that there was good bits in every era, including this one, even though I do think that in hindsight, I think that there is a lot of stuff in 15.0 which is not the greatest, not ideal, and probably going a bit too far even for me. But there's a number of people out there talking about woke and everything else. That there was a bit of agenda pushing, I'll give you that, but no, they were trying ideas, and I think having Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor when she was an inspired idea, and it kept the franchise going for longer than it naturally could have, because it could have petered out at the end of Capaldi, and that was it. And they were thinking of stopping Doctor Who in COVID, so the fact it's managed to survive that and get through to 2025 with what it currently is a testament to how the BBC values it and how production values it. But at the end of the day, it needed to stop, it needed a rest, and it's got it. It's got that stop, and it needs that reset and rest, come out of the public consciousness just a little bit, so it has renewed interest going forward. And I think it needs that. I think it needs to reevaluate what it needs to do for the streaming era, and that's the same with other sci-fi as well. Star Trek's going through exactly the same thing at the moment, where it needs to re-establish what it wants to do for the streaming era. There are other political reasons behind that, but there's not for me to talk about here. Now, I posted a post on Wednesday regarding it, and I put a comment on. I comment on saying the following post, which said, "So today it's been announced that there is no Doctor Who Christmas special this year, and the series has been put out to tender. So it's the end of the Bad Wolf and RTD2 era." I did need a couple of days to take my thoughts, but I did get response from that from one of the subscribers, the Brothers Mahoney 2469, and I just realised that's a nice little link to The Brothers, which Colin Baker starred in. That was what made Colin Baker a well-known actor, was The Brothers, TV series from the 70s. And he's put, "The writing was probably on the wall, but RTD's constant lying about what was going on behind the scene leaves a very bad taste in our mouths about him as a showrunner. And we defended, at least initially, his return after what we considered a very bad time under Chibnall. I dispute that slightly. It's very disappointing for things to have come to a place they have, and it seems obvious to us that RTD had no real intentions or plans about where he wanted to go, and in the end just cared about generating content. I guess in that regard, he got what he wanted." More or less agree with what he's saying there. It does seem very much like it's been very much a content generation thing for RTD, especially when it comes to keeping Doctor Who in the public consciousness more recently. Chibnall wasn't the greatest era in some respects, but it was a nicer take on trying to change the format and expand on it. And these experiments fail sometimes. And I don't think Chibnall really was that bad in the era overall. I think he picked a very good actress. I think his writing was suspect at times, and some of the stories were a bit suspect that he penned under. But the ones he didn't pen actually were pretty solid and pretty good ideas. So there was enough scope still even then for Doctor Who to have different thoughts, feelings, and way it's presented itself. So I don't fully agree that Chibnall was the start of the rot. I think it was starting to lose steam after the 50th anniversary, if I'm perfectly honest. Even though Capaldi's era is by and large very strong, I think the peak was round about the 50th anniversary, and it started to peter out since then. So in that respect, I kind of more or less agree with what the Brothers Mahoney is, but when it comes to Chibnall's era, I have a bit more respect for it, and I actually enjoy it a bit more than some other people do. And that's just my personal opinion. Everybody has a personal opinion. Speaking of personal opinions, some of my friends and that I've spoken to, I think they're all expecting the series to finish. There's definitely a couple of friends who were very visceral about the last ending, the reality war, which I can completely understand. It was a bit of a mess, but it's still something I need to look at on a kind of critical purpose to give me my proper view of it, because I've been critical of things off the fly before, and then when you look at it critically, like stories I've reviewed more recently, you still see good things in it, and there could very well be good things in it, and I'm quite an optimist like that. So in that respect, I completely get where people's point of views are. I'm a bit more of an optimist when it comes to Doctor Who, probably because I started in the Wilderness era, so I was more optimistic about what's available. But yeah, it's fun, the whole conversation to an extent, but there's also people out there who are viscerally been hating on the series for years. There's people out there who have grown tired of it, or drifted away, or decided that they really are just classic era fans and not actually over the whole franchise. I try and keep an open mind. It gets a bit older. It gets a bit more difficult as you get older, of course, but I try and keep an open mind. And yeah, I'm looking forward to when it comes back. When do I think it will come back? Friends like Fraser think 2028, 2029. I think it probably will be closer to 2030. I think it needs that sort of break now. And even though I don't think it's going to be a 16-year wait, I don't think I'll be in my late 50s by the time it comes back, but I hope it's still within my 5th decade that Doctor Who returns. But yeah, we're talking a few years here before it comes back, for definite. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are about the cancellation. Leave a comment down below. It can be good, it can be bad. I don't mind the comments here. If you go a little bit over the top, I might consider reviewing it. So please be respectful. That's all I ask. But yeah, tell me what you think about the cancellation. Leave a comment down below. Yeah, I am back next week with a video for Carnarvon Castle, so hopefully you can join me for that. But yeah, if you like this video, please like it, share it with the hashtag teamstructor. If you like the channel as a whole, hit that subscribe button so you can find out when the next story and next videos come out. General, it's every second Sunday at 4 PM GMT. I will see you next week with the vlog. Until then, guys, thanks for watching, and you know what? I'll see you later.